So I'm the general counsel with Major Drilling Group International, Inc. It's a public company based in Moncton, New Brunswick. We operate in about 15 countries around the world, and we've got currently about 3,000 employees. We operate in the mining sector. So in this role, there's one person in the legal department, and it's me. So it's a pretty varied practice, as you can imagine. Obviously, corporate and commercial work, contract review and negotiation is sort of the bread and butter of what I do. But given that we operate all over the world, there's a whole host of different issues that can pop up in these countries where we're working. And oftentimes, I'm sourcing the expertise in these countries, the legal expertise. Sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper. And also in this role, I work quite a bit with our board. As corporate secretary, I'm serving as I do a fair amount of work with the governance committee and the audit committee as well. Now, in terms of how I got to this role as general counsel, it's been a really circuitous route to get to where I am today. I started in a great firm on the East Coast called Stewart McKelvey in my hometown, but I wanted to work internationally. So I applied to and got into the Foreign Service, and I spent a few years in Ottawa working in the international law branch there and had some great exposure. Worked at the WTO, appeared before the appellate body in Geneva, and then I went on posting. I was in Havana for 3 years, and Mexico City for 3 years. But we had a baby on the way, and I was itching to get back into more substantive practice of law, and we wanted to be closer to the grandparents. So I did some research, and I found out about this company back in New Brunswick that was operating around the world and very focused on Latin America as well, and that's where sort of I have my passion. And so it was this mix that fit really well, and so I came in as general counsel about 3 years ago. So since the company is spread across 15 countries, we're dealing with language differences, cultural differences, and obviously geographical distances. So I think about around the 6-month mark, once I had my feet wet in the role of general counsel, I took it on as a personal mission to say, look, we've got to break down some of these gaps or distances between head office and the branches. And to do that, my approach has been to make the general counsel role a lot more approachable, a lot more personable, so that our employees out in the field will have no concerns with picking up the phone if they're in a bind or in a crunch, something is happening in the field in real time and they need some help. They can give me a call. And I think that's something that I find special, and it's part of my passion in this role, and I think that the client really appreciates that. So I very much find the practice of law to be rewarding. Now, I think in my role as in-house counsel, there's a real risk that the in-house legal department could be seen as very detached from the rest of the operations, that it's not necessarily engaged with the people. It's more of a transactional type relationship. And for me, that's not of interest at all. What I really like about my role and my practice is the fact that I get to interact with our branches out in the field across the 15 countries where we operate. I can help people out in real time as problems arise. And also in this role, as part of the executive committee, I work very closely with the CEO and the CFO and others. And they bring me in not only for legal questions, where I serve as a trusted legal advisor, but also on broader business strategy issues. So to have those two elements as part of my role or as part of my practice, I find it to be absolutely rewarding.